Hello and welcome to the very special Christmas episode of the Rogues Den Show. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Beau.
And we're not talking about Die Hard. We were going to, but then someone forgot to watch it because he forgot to watch things. Blah, 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 blah. So I kicked him out. We got Beau here.
And I've never seen Die Hard. So today, we're going to talk about The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Which is
arguably the greatest Christmas film ever made.
I will argue that with you.
For or against?
Against.
Right.
It is the best Halloween cross Christmas movie that I've seen in the past 5 years.
I'll agree with that.
Yes, that is a lot of qualifications, but it is really good. So, what's the movie about?
The movie is about a Halloween icon slash, I guess you could say, folklore figure that is tired of his same old routine, living in Halloween Town and being the royalty of Halloween Town, and he decides that he's going to steal Christmas for his own and make it his thing. But in order to do this, he has to steal it from none other than Santa Claus.
And you don't mess with Santa Claus.
Well, actually, he's really easy to mess with in
He's
this film.
so easy to mess with. The whole thing, the entire
They knock on the door, he opens the door, and they've got him.
Yeah, those little kids.
That's it.
Like,
and then he's held captive for a period of time. So
until Christmas.
And apparently no kind of magic power or Christmas power that he possesses can get him out of handcuffs.
Well, he's in Halloween Town, so he has no power there.
But
I don't know if that's the actual
he should
law.
still have power, right?
Yeah, he should. But, shut up.
Because of plot reasons, that's why.
So the movie can happen.
The Nightmare Before Christmas Stand came out in 1993. I know, I was there.
I wasn't.
Just?
I was
Maybe.
busy.
Okay.
Did it actually come out on Christmas or did it come out in Halloween? This is how we settled this debate.
Honestly, back then I was having trouble with my C's and T's, so I couldn't have told you whether or not it came out on Christmas. I think it might have done.
Okay,
maybe
we're going to have
Halloween.
fact checker Kez look that up while we say that.
I've already got fact checker.
What is it then?
It actually came out in 1994.
Oh, was it on the cusp?
It says the release date is 10 November 94.
Huh.
November.
My
It came out in November, ladies and gentlemen, which means this debate will never end. Is it a Halloween movie that came out late or a Christmas movie that came out early? It's literally both that release date.
In my household, it is a both movie.
That's fair.
So traditionally, we watch it on Halloween. My wife does not like the film that much, but she is forced to watch it every Halloween. So,
Very supportive.
Yes.
I bet she also named your kid.
Yes. Or so she thinks. So, The Nightmare Before Christmas, what do you love about it, Dan?
It's a Tim Burton movie that doesn't have all the trappings of Tim Burton.
Well, actually,
because it was Henry Selick.
It's directed by Henry Selick, but everything else from story to characters was all designed by Tim Burton. And the reason that they did that was because Tim Burton, he loved stories like The Grinch and A Christmas Carol and things like that, and he wanted to find a way to make his own sort of retelling of that kind
Was
of
this
tale.
a poem, right? It was either a poem or a
I think
picture
it
book.
was a poem first, and then it sort of developed. It was the second stop motion feature that he ever made at that point, and it took him something like 2 or 3 years to make.
Stop motion is really hard. You have
back then it was handcrafted too, none of this 3D printing and that stuff. I didn't.
3D print and crap.
Back in the day, they had to use
Back in my day, it was worse.
But when you think about the level of artistry that goes into a film like that, they have to literally craft each facial expression of each character every second.
More than one a second because of how frame rates work. It's literally 60 seconds.
Yeah.
So one of the things that do you know Cuba on Two Strings? Have you seen it?
Cuba, it's one of my favorite stop motion films.
Really?
It's a great film.
I think that it's a fantastic film, but one of the things it's missing is the stop motionness. Because they can 3D print stuff, it looks too good.
Crisp.
Yeah, too crisp.
Clean. Yeah, I get that.
I like the janky
It's a Wallace and
animation.
Gromit that shit.
Yeah. You got to make it like slightly worse, I guess.
I loved the artistry in Kubo and the Two Strings, but back to The Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's fair. So with The Nightmare Before Christmas, I like that he looks like a puppet. He looks like he's moving. He's got like long
That's
limbs.
offensive to those of us who have lived and breathed that film since we were children. And also, I was quite offended when the emo movement sort of took it on like its own like.
Oh, this is a hot topic. This is
Yeah,
Hot
yeah.
Topic. The symbol of Hot
Well,
Topic
not just
is
Hot Topic, but just like they're like, I'm edgy. I like The Nightmare Before Christmas, and like I've been watching this movie since I was 3 years old.
So suck it. I was a 3-year-old edgelord.
That's it. I had a fringe and everything. Did a lot of this down the street.
Spider-Man 3 is still the best Spider-Man.
Can we talk about the music though, Dan?
Yes.
What do you like about the music in the film?
It's really fun. It feels classic. It feels like it was influenced by The Grinch, really. All the classic Christmas movies, the classic Disney
And you
movies.
can't go past a bit of Danny Elfman. Bum, 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 bum. That's my impression of Danny Elfman music.
It's so good. Danny Elfman also did the singing voice of Jack Skellington.
Yes.
And what I like is, okay, listen, actors that are obviously watching this, when you're singing, don't use auto-tune. Just admit that you can't sing and get someone else to dub you over. 1930s to 50s, the musical era, they hired actors to act and they hired singers to sing. So you voice match them, and that only happens in
And
movies
everyone
now.
gets a job then.
Yeah. It's like, maybe don't auto-tune Emma Watson. Get someone that can sing properly.
None of this triple threat nonsense. You have one job.
You have one job.
Focus on that.
Yeah. So I really like Jack Skellington's voice. I think that he has this sort of dark yet kindness to him.
Well, there was a continuity as well between the voice actor that voiced his dialogue and the voice of Danny Elfman for the singing, which I quite like because you don't think it's a different person. You know, sometimes you're like, oh, that's a different person.
Yeah, that's what
You
happens
don't
when you
think that in
hire
that
people
film.
that aren't voice actors to do voices. They just talk like themselves.
Yeah. So I quite like that in the film. Obviously, there's a romantic aspect of this film, which is between Jack and Sally, which is, as a kid, you just kind of go, oh yeah, they're together now. That's great. And then you watch it as an adult, like, these people don't know each other at all.
Yeah, but if I've seen any rom-com ever, especially the Disney ones, which this is obviously not copying, but like being influenced by, most of those people get married within like a week.
Yeah, so I guess they kind of fast-track that in the film. And obviously we have a couple of different villains. So obviously Oogie Boogie, who is essentially the boogeyman.
Oogie Boogeyman.
With a penchant for gambling. He likes roll of the dice, a little bit of slot machines. And obviously Lock, Shock and Barrel.
That's so good names.
And Dr. Finkelstein, who's basically Dr. Frankenstein.
What, with that name?
Yeah, I know. You
That's
couldn't
so
tell it was
weird.
knockoff, not at all. I love the bit where he's making the new bride and he takes out half of his brain and puts it in her head. And then he kisses the brain and her head flap.
I like that this
Crashes
is all
a
just
little bit.
part of the world. And then we go to Christmas, the Christmas world. And it is completely different.
Yep.
Everyone's like, oh, no one's killing each other. That's weird.
Or they're checking under the bed, like, there's no monsters under here. What's that about?
It's only like presents or whatever. I want to see the other doors.
Oh, I always hoped for a sequel where they went into like, but not like one of the known ones like Easter. It's like, can you go into the St. Patrick's Day one and just show
It's
me
just a bunch of
They're
drunk-
just drinking.
They're just drinking. But you have like Hanukkah, because like if you look at all the Hanukkah movies, there's one, and it's an Adam Sandler movie. So we need like more Hanukkah movies just so there can be more than one.
Yeah.
So you have, say, Crazy Nights, for those of you curious. Don't watch it. So you have all of these creative things. And one of the things I love is that it feels very Tim Burton, and I don't know how much he had influence on
Literally everything.
Literally everything?
Yeah, it was, with the exception to directing the film, which I don't, obviously I wasn't there, so I don't know, like, physically on set, but I don't know what the sort of power hierarchy was there, but from what I can see of everything that's come since the film was made, it's all very much Tim Burton.
So there's 7 holiday doors in total.
Okay.
Going from counterclockwise, there's the pumpkin door for Halloween, a Christmas tree for Christmas, a turkey for Thanksgiving, a brightly coloured egg for Easter, a green 4-leaf clover for St. Patrick's Day,
Hey!
a red heart for Valentine's Day, and a red, white, and blue firework door that can only be assumed is American Independence Day.
Of course, that's a door.
It could be New Year's.
Or British Bonfire Night. It's not actually noted in the film.
Okay.
It might be New Year's.
But being red, white, and blue.
Can you
that's
imagine
fair.
they go through there like, hey, remember that time we all overthrew our government or tried to? The tried to was a Guy Fawkes reference.
Yeah, I got that. The only thing I know about Guy Fawkes is that he was Batman in V for Vendetta.
So what was your favourite thing about the film, Dan?
I really like the animation.
Yep.
And the music. The story's really fun, but the thing I remember the most is the music and the presentation. Because when it comes to stories, you can have an interesting story, but if you don't present it well, it can be bad. Like if you look at the Star Wars prequels, they have a really interesting story, but they're terrible.
I disagree with that. But that's a conversation for another time.
Well, it's either this or Star Wars Holiday Special.
Okay, so
But I really like the way that it looks. What about you?
I love everything about it.
You can't say everything, you cheater.
I was a huge Tim Burton fan as a kid. I grew up on obviously the Tim Burton Batman films, and later obviously Edward Scissorhands, and later Sleepy Hollow and things like that.
Scissorhands is also a Christmas movie, or is it just a fairy tale that takes place in the snow?
Yes, and even that's pushing it because it was ice, shavings of ice.
My apologies. But didn't he create snow? I don't know anything about Edward Scissorhands.
He kind of did, I guess, but that's a lot of ice. Where does he get the ice from?
It's a fairy tale.
Nobody knows.
Hey! What if I told you? Don't think about it.
Oddly enough, Winona Ryder is now the same age that she is at the end of the film.
What?
She's just super old now.
Okay.
Anyway.
You asshole.
With regards to what I love about the film, I love the style and aesthetic, because you got to remember when that movie came out, Tim Burton wasn't. We don't have 16 Tim Burton movies. We have 1 or 2. So to see back then his style was a new thing. It was like when Guillermo del Toro started coming out with films. Like, whoa, this is cool. So that I love about it, and that sort of gothic kind of vibe, theme, tone, anything but the word vibe.
You know what I like the most? I like the vibe, man.
Yes, you
just
would.
the vibe of the vibe.
Although
it's so vibing, the vibe, vibe.
I may vomit. So one thing that happened, now I did previously whinge a little bit about the emo kids. However, I was an esteemed member of that particular social movement at one point in my life.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if we can get a photo of that, Kez will put it up now. If not, never mind.
Anyway, so when they did a revival in about 2006, 2007 of Nightmare Before Christmas, where they re-released it at the cinema, it was a big
Is
deal.
this the hot topic phase?
Probably, yeah. And however, what they did do as well is all the cool heavy metal and alternative bands at the time did a version of the tracks. So you had Amy Lee from Evanescence did Sally's Song, which is cool. You had Marilyn Manson did This Is Halloween. Korn did another version of This Is Halloween. Panic at the Disco did What's This. It was really cool. So at that time, if you were like myself and you loved Nightmare Before Christmas and you were also a little on the fringe, literally, then that was you were all about that LimeWire downloads.
Sometimes, you're 2 years older than me, but sometimes it feels
It's
like
a
you're
century,
20.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I skipped over LimeWire so hard.
Yeah?
I did not know that until it was over.
Well, I didn't have computers that lasted very long downloading through LimeWire. So.
Oh my god! The first computer I had, it took 45 minutes to download one file. Not even a big file. And if you were talking about video file, no, it would set on fire first.
Speaking of downloads, so obviously in 2005, I believe, we had what everybody thought was going to be the follow-up to The Nightmare Before Christmas, which was the Corpse Sprite. Obviously, not a sequel in any way.
Not a sequel.
But because it was the first stop motion animation that Tim Burton had done since The Night Before Christmas.
Once again, Henry Selick did it. And I think that we are talking about Tim Burton a lot. Henry Selick really deserves credit.
Of course, yeah. Well, Jack Skellington actually has a cameo in Henry Selick's other film, which is James and the Giant Peach.
That's fun.
So there's a bit where they go underwater to this shipwreck, and there's this obviously a wrecked ship, and there's
Wow, they should name it something like Underwater Sea Damaged.
Anyway, so
Corpse Sprite's actually directed by Tim Burton and Mike Johnson.
right. Oh, so I didn't know it was co-directed. Oh wow. Okay.
Cool.
See, Tim Burton just gets the credit left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
These other poor bastards. No, didn't even get a look in. Anyway, they're at this shipwreck, and there's the captain at the wheel, and it's Jack Skellington.
That's fun.
Yeah, so that's cool.
So we have Henry Selick directing one of the best Tim Burton movies, and we have another one that's been co-directed. I like someone that can work with other people on their vision.
So originally, Touchstone, which I think are like a sister company of Disney, produced The Nightmare Before Christmas because they didn't really think it was going to do that well.
It's Touchstone, they're like, we'll try.
Yeah, it's like, just throw a bit of money into it, see what happens. And then obviously when it developed this cult following, Disney were like, whoa.
We can
We
market
need
this.
to. Every year we're going to do Halloween. Jack Skellington's going to be everywhere. And then,
You know the pitch meeting for this is, listen, Disney, you know how you like Christmas, right? And we can sell stuff on Christmas. What if also Halloween? 2 for
Double.
1.
Yeah.
And we can push that, and then like you know
Nothing
this
like-
hot topic that's starting up.
Commercial profiteering from a children's film.
That's what children's films are for.
They're basically paying for our nostalgia.
That in the 80s, so I think it was before then, it was like there were strict laws about advertising to kids. And in the 80s, nope, we're getting rid of those laws. You can advertise directly to kids using
Eat sugar.
using TV
Use
shows.
this harmful toy.
Yeah, so in the 80s, a bunch of kids shows came out that were directly toy commercials.
Other piece of information is that Corpse Sprite isn't Disney, it is Warner Bros.
Yes, I did know that was not a Disney product.
I didn't, thank you, Kaz.
Thank you, Kez. So, Nightmare Before Christmas, obviously there's quite a lot of cool songs in there. I think one of my personal favourites is one of the closing songs, which is not Jack's Lament, it's What Have I Done? Jack's like, where he finally realises, I tried to steal Christmas and, all these bad things happen. Grandma's got eaten by Christmas snakes. And
If it helps, he didn't... It's not like the Grinch directly where he tries to steal Christmas.
No.
He tries to make Christmas his.
yeah, so he
And kidnap Santa
accidentally, it's, benign maliciousness.
Aside from the
rather than-
kidnapping. And then Santa comes back and he's all smug, like...
Yeah, he's like, I knew you couldn't do it, you weak bastard.
It's like, didn't you get trapped in a sack this entire movie? You got trapped by your own thing. Shut up.
Yeah. So, but there's that moment where he realizes, I got to stay in my own lane here, and he sort of revitalizes his bloodlust for Halloween.
One of the things that is interesting, and you can speak to this if you want, if you have anything more to say about it, because I'm in a surface level, which is, it's weird to me that the lesson of the movie is to do your own thing and not try and, like, you're not talented in this thing, you shouldn't even try. You shouldn't try to do this thing.
It was the 90s, remember? So it was a period of brutal honesty and broken dreams.
I think that Monsters University has the same lesson, which is, your dreams might not be for you. You might not be talented enough for this, but like you can still do stuff.
But you know what's important? Honesty. Especially self-honesty. So I guess that is a bit of a theme there, but I think it's also about not taking for granted what you have.
That's true.
And coveting something that you don't have. And that's Jack's big thing, is that he's always, he feels like he's just doing the same old thing year after year. He says that in one of the lyrics of the songs. And then he's like, but what if I had something better? Oh, old mate over here's got something shiny and new. And then he goes and experiences that and realizes that, hey, first of all, I'm not cut out for this at all. And secondly, it's not as great as I thought it was going to be. But you know what was really cool? What I was doing. And then he kind of realized, and also, you know, discovering Sally as well. He kind of overlooks her for the big dream until he realizes that, oh, actually, I've got this girl that really loves me, and actually I really love her, and maybe I should stop taking that for granted and, you know, coveting things that I don't have.
So what we're saying is that Valentine's Day, he should have gone to Valentine's Day.
There's the sequel.
That's where they go on their honeymoon.
I don't even want to start on what their kids look like. One's a doll, one's a skeleton. This kid's going to be terrifying.
With that said, that was the Rogues Den Show.
Thanks for having us, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We'll be back next year. Hopefully Jacob will watch a movie.
Oh, I get it, because I don't watch that many movies. That's so funny.
It is hilarious. Bye, guys.